Filming music video in basement with Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. That's right, no R5. These shots were all filmed with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. And before this scene looked like this, it looked like this. So as the title of this video indicates, I used the BMPCC 4K to film the video. So the question is, why did I choose the Blackmagic Pocket 4K? And of course, how did I set it up? What was the whole idea behind my decision? And what did I do to get the footage looking the way it did? And finally, what was the experience like using the Pocket 4K in this shoot? Well, that's more than one question. But okay, let's get all these questions answered. So why did I use the Pocket 4K? I have access to 8K RAW on the R5, which I had with me on this shoot, so why not just use the R5? The answer to that question was a tough one for me. While I was there during the shoot, assisting my talented friend with her music video, link in the description down below, I was still undecided as which camera I should use. What made me finally decide came down to a few things. Though the R5 can give me great high-resolution footage, the file sizes for high-quality footage is not as efficient as the Pocket 4K. Next, the Pocket 4K has the ability to record 2.4:1 aspect ratio, which not only saved file space, but helped me compose my shots for the specific format, which is nice. And speaking of the files themselves, thanks to the Pocket 4K's ability to record straight to an SSD, I was able to pop the footage into Premiere and show Sophia what it would look like once color corrected almost instantly. So Pocket 4K does that. So now setup. This was going to take some time. I brought enough equipment to work in different scenarios and realized that in this case, I'll have to come up with creative lights. Now, giant dome lights wouldn't make too much sense in this space due to lower ceilings and the small area we had to work with. Thankfully, I had Viltrox VL200 lights, which are flat, bright LED lights that would work in small spaces. But how would I use them? I wasn't particularly sure at first. I set up the lights in a position in the room and did a quick shot to see if it would look good. And at that point, I had a bright idea. You see, the way I set her up, I thought that the lights themselves can look like stage lights as she sings. And as an added bonus, I used gels which I laid over the lights to add a great contrast and color effect to give a certain look to the singer. The final touch was done by Sophia herself. She chose a jacket that worked with the lights to give a great reflection for an interesting look. But what about the Pocket 4K? How would I film? I chose to record B-RAW in 24 frames per second for the first shots in 2.4:1 aspect ratio. Also, I did not use a gimbal. I mostly used my 35mm f2.0 lens to record these shots, thanks to its built-in image stabilization. I wanted to have all the footage stabilized, but also be able to move the camera around quickly to ensure that I was nimble. For these shots, I think the Pocket 4K did great. For the next shots that were meant to be connected to filming emotion in slow motion, I actually decided to switch things up and just film natural shots without using the overdone lighting effects. Don't get me wrong, I still use the lights, but I toned it down for a more natural setting. All my settings were the same on the Pocket 4K, except I turned up the frame rate to 60 frames per second for slow motion. Regarding slow motion, I believe 60 frames per second is perfect for a shot that isn't super fast action. When a person is just moving around naturally, but you want to emphasize drama, 60 frames per second can really emphasize that. 120 frames per second I believe is more for fast action or sports that really need to be slowed down. In other words, the Pocket 4K's 60 frames per second was perfect for these scenes. Then finally, when editing and color correcting the footage, it was a breeze. Color grading was easy thanks to the great looking footage right out of the camera. B-RAW really edits smoothly with no lags, and all in all, I was absolutely sure I made the right decision. The Pocket 4K delivered and made the shoot pretty simple and gave me no real concerns. If I were forced to pick out the issues I had during filming, I'd say only a few things. The batteries had to be frequently swapped out every half hour, but thankfully I had about 12 in my bag, so it lasted all day. Then the screen suffered some glare from the lights, which didn't make it easy to see what I was focusing on while filming. But that's about it. The camera's pros far outweighed the cons. I did get plenty of behind the scene footage with the R5, and this was used as well for the music video, but Pocket 4K was the go-to camera for most of this shoot. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What camera would you have chosen, the R5 or the Blackmagic? Please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.